Once again, good morning, viewers, and Happy New Year. Once again, we are still here on now streaming Sporting Edition on ACNNTV. We are now diving into the world of sports, and trust me, even my guest and my co-anchor, this is the period that we all love to discuss, share whatever information that we have, even banter if the need arises. The Super Eagles didn't just defeat Mozambique, they dismantled them 4-0. Yet, instead of a nationwide jubilation, Nigeria has been dragged into a referee mode, mediating a brewing storm between Osimhen and Lookman. And just when you think that's enough, reports emerge of the Super Eagles refusing to train or even travel for the quarterfinal clash against the Desert Warriors of Algeria over unpaid bonuses for the 4 games they've already won. In Nigeria, drama and controversy, they move together like Aki and Popo. Inseparable, unavoidable, and always entertaining. And that's how you know that today's show will be a massive one. This is now Streaming Sport Edition, where politics meets passion, sports meets society, and nothing stays offside for long. I am Raphael Ojao Komo, your anchor for today, and you're watching Now Streaming Live on ACNN TV, of course. And I will not be doing this alone. I am here with my co-anchor, Gordon Ojiri.
Thank you so much, Raphael, and welcome back again, viewers, for the Now Streaming Sports Special Edition. I tell you, it is, just like Raphael said, a time in the show, Now Streaming, that we all are waiting for. And trust me, today's own seems to be very special because Nigerians are happy. Forget the banters out there, but we are all happy with the progress of our Super Eagles.
All right. Thank you very much, Godwin. Still with us,
Soko.
Comrade Abraham Soko, the one on the blue side.
Good morning, Mr. Raphael. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm glad that we have come to this sports edition where we share light banters and laughs. And as Mr. Gordon rightly said, we are on the right trajectory in the Afcon competition, and I'm really happy despite some of the controversial news coming from our Super Eagles camp. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And also, Dr. Desiree Izu will be joining us later in the show to also give us his own insights on some of this sporting drama. Viewers, once again, please do not forget you can join us on this program with the numbers showing on your screen, and also explore all our social media platforms just to reach out to us so that we can also hear what you have to share with the world. But before we go into all the stories surrounding the sporting activities in and around the world, I have a headline here that I would like to let out, Punch Sport Extra, that I have in front of me. At the top there, we have my career will end in UFC. Adesanya not open to boxing. We've seen a lot of people from UFC going to boxing. I don't know if he want to. He has said he will not try it. My career will end in UFC. The big image here says no way home. United rule out Rashford return despite managerial change. No way home. That is coming from the United team. We have at the top right there, Neymar extends Santos contract. Neymar extends Santos contract. And the last but not the least, here we have Oshomole hails Okpekpe 10-kilometer as world's best. One day, maybe I will see Comrade Soko take part in this race down there as part of this. Oshomole, I've known this race for a long time. This Okpekpe 10-kilometer race. So Oshomole hails Okpekpe 10-kilometer as world's best. Of course, they say if you don't blow your trumpet, who will blow it for you?
Indeed.
So now we'll be going to the news that we have in front of us, the gist that we have in front of us. And number one, of course, would be the Super Eagles. How do we start such a sporting show without bringing the Super Eagles to the forefront? I know my producer will have a video or two to share with us before we go into the nitty-gritty of this show for today. And I'm talking about none other than the Super Eagles drama. I don't know if my producer is ready. Please let them see what we have, and then we'll go into the details.
Super Eagles. But now what we know was that Victor Osimhen stormed out of the stadium, and the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, talking about Ibrahim Gusso, probably going after him to pacify him, because confirmed reports have it that Victor Osimhen said he was done with the national team. He dropped his accreditation and said he was going back to Turkey. And some officials said no one should appease him and let him do what he has to do. We're waiting for more reports from the national team on this particular issue.
Okay, now, after seeing that video, Mohamed Salah said something earlier. He said, Afcon is so difficult, nobody can score 3 or 4 goals. And immediately he made that statement. The next day, the Super Eagles of Nigeria scored 4. And we all thought everybody would be in a jubilation mode. But just one, what I call it, spark of madness or misbehavior or spoilt brat behavior, or what do you want to call it, instead of discussing the tactics, discussing the passes from Iwobi, discussing the assist from Lookman and Akko Adams, we are discussing Osimhen once again. And it's so tiring, because some people came up and say he's very passionate. It's because he's passionate, he's blah blah blah. You have a confrontation with your player. I think it was last week or last 2 weeks that 2 players from a particular club in EPL, I think they fought or something, and the referee issued one of them a red card. I stand to be corrected. And you have that in your opponent's box when you're about to play a corner kick, and you're quarreling with somebody who has just given you 2 assists in the same game. And even if you want to bear your grievances, should it be in front of the same people you're playing with still on the pitch? And after which, we saw him started walking on the pitch as if he was no longer interested in playing, and then for no reason signal the coach to say, please
change,
remove me, I want to go. And then when he came out, we're hearing news that he's saying he was done, he's not playing again.
Okay.
The question I want to ask, the matter pass say they no pass boy give him.
All right, is that to me?
Yes. And maybe Komrisoko too. He passed. Somebody said something. I think it was Sunday Mba when he was interviewed. He said football, and it has happened to me and so many people who play football. Football is a sport that when you begin to blame somebody on the sport, on the field, you receive your punishment instantly. I've seen situations where somebody is waiting for the ball and is shouting, give me the ball, give me the ball. Maybe the other person is busy dribbling. The moment you who is calling for the ball just say, okay, now they dribble now, and you take your mind away from playing, that's when the pass comes. And by the time the pass comes, you're not ready. And maybe when the opponent takes the ball from you, they go and score. At that point in time, the guy who was dribbling is no longer at fault.
Indeed.
Because he has done his part. He has given you the ball. And for somebody who misses a whole lot of chances from assists that this guy is give to him, against Gabon in the playoffs, World Cup playoff, we wouldn't have gone to the extra time if Osimhen had scored that one-on-one chance that was given to him.
Indeed.
Ask me how many people went to him to fight him. In this game against Mozambique, the goals he missed, in the games coming towards before Mozambique, all the goals he missed, how many people has gone to meet him and shout at him? So, right. Godwin, is it more than say no pass, give me?
All right. Thank you so much, Ralph, for this question. Indeed, I was waiting for this segment of non-streaming to dive into this issue, and I want us to look at it from a very broad perspective in few seconds or minutes. First of all, is you would remember right here on the show that when we were juxtaposing between who becomes the captain of the Super Eagles between Ndidi and Osimhen. I raised an issue to say Osimhen is one person that in the sideline, he showed himself capable. He showed his love, and he has shown his love for the team and also for the game, you get. But when it comes to captainship, which all of us has to know that it has to do with a great deal of leadership, both in the team, on play, you have to take on-site decision, have to calm your teammate and a whole lot. I ruled him off to say no. For this reason, I'm not seeing him capable of leading the Super Eagles. Now that all of these things have come to limelight, we are now struggling between four dilemmas that I would call out now. It is from the aspect of sportsmanship. The second would be from the angle of character. The third would not be from the angle of patriotism. And the fourth would be what I would call momentary outbursts of anger. You understand? Now, let me look at it from the angle of sportsmanship. Is Osimhen a good sportsman? A whole lot of persons will say, yes, he is. You get. Does he understand the game? Does he understand the tension that comes? Does he understand when it is mostly needed to deliver for your team? You would say, yes, it is obvious that he does. You get. For the team he plays with, Galatasaray, you will understand that he is their playman. And they don't joke with him there. No doubt. Now, this brings us to the issue of patriotism. What should come first? Should it be your own personal interest or national interest? You understand? Now, he should, at that point, know that whenever he is putting on the Nigerian jersey, we don't see Osimhen. We see you as a critical link, but a team player, a factor, but Nigeria is playing, not Osimhen is playing. You are known because an opportunity is given to you by your nation. If not, there is no club that would have just come and pick you. There are so many persons that weren't invited to Afcon that would have wished to be there, and they are playing off well in other developed countries. You get. And now when you have the privilege of representing your country, what we need you to do is to at least show a sense of patriotism. Now, when it now comes to character, I wouldn't say he hasn't shown all of this. It is not easy. He has given his best for Nigeria. When it now comes to character, his character is always put in check, always put in question, and this is sincerely not good for the team. Believe me, I trust, and I want to trust and believe God that the Afcon is ours. But if anything goes wrong, not just the coach, Osimhen will be held responsible, and it will not be good for his career at this point. Are you seeing it? Then this momentary outburst of anger is one thing that every sportsman have, no doubt. It all depends on the pain points or how he sees it. But to the extent that it is an opposition that was coming to tell you to calm down, it shows that you have actually forgotten who you are, and then you are seeing yourself.
You've forgotten where you are at that point in time.
And you're seeing yourself as a star boy in team. But I would now say, despite how good and how brilliant he plays, that I'm disappointed. You know why? Because this is one person that came out from the street. And we understand what happens. All of these things happen in the street. He should have seen Lukman.
You could even see the two Mozambican guys coming to calm him down.
So that was my own pain. That was my own pain. And we don't want to go to what may have transpired in the locker room between him, the technical team, and a whole lot. So these are just the 4 points that I want to marshal out as regards this issue. You get. So he needs to be called to order, no doubt. He needs to be advised because whichever or however we see it, we still need Osimhen on that team to deliver for Nigeria and to make us proud once more.
Okay, viewers, I always come to you guys. Please remember that you can also give us your own insight concerning this matter, because like I asked God, he pass it, they no pass ball.
He pass.
Make your own enemy where they fight with you, now can't separate fight again. Because I'm trying to make sense of it. I watched an interview where Rafael Onyedika was speaking, and then he said, do you know that I got the 2 assists from Chukwueze? In fact, I need to get that guy a gift, because the 3 goals I scored for Super Eagles, the 3 assists has come from Chukwueze. And if you look at the goal contribution for this Afcon, thus far, even this Afcon and the last Afcon, Lookman is way ahead of Osimhen. Way ahead. As we speak right now, I think Lookman has 4 assists, if I'm not mistaken, and has 3 goals. That's 7. Osimhen has how many goals? 3 goals and maybe 1 assist. That's 4. If you put Lookman's last Afcon goals, 3, add to this one, that's what do you have there, which is goal. That's 10 with goal contribution. Maybe if you now add the assist, maybe 2 or 3, you begin to see that this disparity is clear. And this does not mean that Osimhen was not in those games. He was there. You could see that every time the chances got to him, he was just shooting them anyhow. I don't think that's the reason why this guy did not maybe pass the ball to you or play the ball to you. Sometimes coaches will tell you as an attacker, use your instinct. Just sometimes your mind will tell you just shoot. Sometimes you see some player, you're thinking, Fabregas during his days, even at Arsenal and Chelsea, you see him in the goal post like this. Everybody will think he has scored. Before you know, he's passing the ball to somebody who he believes is in a better position than him. Comrade Soko, I am coming back to you, please.
Okay, Raf, before you go to Comrade, something just came to my head. Who was the last African best player?
Before Osimhen was Lookman.
All right. Now, could it be? I don't know what I'm saying. Could it be that's
what
you can now move to Soko.
They both won it. So it's not a case of because I read something this morning or yesterday that when Lookman what's it called? When Osimhen won it, Lookman traveled all the way to come and share in the moment with him. Indeed. And also even sent him a message to say, guy, how far? But when he won it, there was no such thing like that. But I don't think, because if you watch the games, they've been together up until that Mozambican game. Comrade Soko, is there something that you know that we do not know?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Raphael. What I would want to say is that I would want to speak on the character of Victor Osimhen. Okay. And sometime in 2025, in August specifically, an English pundit in the person of Gary Lineker, it made mention of the fact that the reason why some top clubs are hesitant in trying to sign Victor Osimhen at that particular time was the fact that it has to do, he alluded to his discipline on and off the pitch. And when that incident and the whole controversy happened in that particular game, I had to recall that particular statement. And Afcon is now, it's not just limited to just Africa anymore. If you look at the quality of the football coming out of this Afcon, you see that Afcon has gone global. And there are scouts everywhere. There are directors, there are managers, agents that are actually tuning into this competition. So I don't think that professionally Victor Osimhen has done himself any good. I'm glad that Mr. Godwin also recalled the program where we were debating who is to be captain, and we also alluded to his character. And I'm very, very glad that he was not the captain of the team. He was not made the captain of the team, because it would have sent a very, very wrong message. Because as a captain, you are the one that is even supposed to enforce discipline. You are the ones that is even supposed to take that leadership role. Instead, you are the one throwing tantrums on the pitch. Something else I would want to add at this point is that I'm glad that Mr. Rafi also make mention to it. Ademola Lookman is not by any standard a small player. He's not It's not, with all respect to our own base players, to all respect to our African-based players, is none of such. This is a player that is playing in the top team in Europe. This is a player that he was, I think, in the last 2 years, he was the best footballer in Africa. To actually treat him in such manner, I think it is actually very, very disrespectful. Yes, I understand that a lot of individuals have spoken about passion on the pitch, and you really need that passion to be able to actually click and to be able to evolve into the beast and the powerhouse needed to be a football team. But you should actually know when to draw the line. This is not an isolated incident. We understand, as I said, it's a passionate game. We have seen situations where, I think it was one that came to my mind, where Jackson had the opportunity to square play, pass to Cole Palmer, and he did not. Cole Palmer was livid. He was angry. He shouted on the pitch, but it ended there. I think in the next minute or so, that has already left his mind. That is what it means for you to be a professional footballer. I was surprised that Osimhen indicated the fact that he wanted to come off. I was surprised that he made mention of the fact that he wanted to exit the Super Eagles team. I think that this does not actually bear the hallmark of a professional footballer, and I must say that it is really sad to see our top number 9 behaving in such manner. Thank you very much, Mr. Raphael.
I would want to add at this point, I think maybe someone like an Osimhen needs a psychologist who would go around with him, because this, like Comrade Soko said, is not in isolation. We've seen a trend, and we've seen this trend even in his club side, even at Napoli. If we were quick to go to the whole village people and whatever, no, this one, you're the one dialing your number. They've not called you, you're the one dialing your number. I want to welcome Dr. Desiri Izu, who has joined us. Doctor.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Good morning. Before you greet us the wrong time. Now, I'm coming to you because I know you do not know how to sugarcoat things. I want you, all of us, either we like it or not, in one way or the other, we played football, maybe not professionally, and we've seen these things play out. Do you understand me? Where you're expecting a pass, the person doesn't give it to you. And in split second, I watched when Barcelona were in their thick, the days of Romario and Stoichkov. They had a confrontation just like this, and in less than 10 minutes, Stoichkov was ahead, had a pass, and he found a way to square play it to Romario, and Romario scored. And if you see the way the two of them were hugging each other, the two of them, Barcelona won that game by 4-0. Stoichkov scored 2, Romario scored 2. Everything died on the pitch. Why do we now have a player who now gets angry? In fact, if you were watching the game, I'm coming to you, Dr. Izu. If you were watching the game, you will see where he started walking like he was not interested in the ball anymore. Then he now signaled for them to remove him, and then he went straight to the tunnel. We all know Nigerian Super Eagles, when you finish a game, everybody comes together to pray before they leave the pitch. He stormed down the tunnel. We could see a clip of him being followed by the NFF president, trying to go and talk to him. How did we get to this point, Dr. Edesiri Izu?
Thank you. A lot has been said. I think I heard a lot from Comrade Soko and my friend in the studio there. But I think it's a Nigerian problem here to value or hail people instead of systems. When you make people look like, just like we have in the political space, you see a minister now deciding who is what in a particular place and says that whoever will get this must come through me. So we build systems, even in churches and we use people, rather individuals, instead of systems. We go to churches when the general overseer does know it's not around, nobody else to preach. Anywhere he is in the world, they will link up to him that he should preach from there because he's the one that everybody can see. So I think that is one of the problems that we have now. Not to belabor the point, Osimhen's behavior is inexcusable. Inexcusable. I'm just going to touch on a few things that Comrade and all of you have not said, which is the fact that people have one or two outbursts, there are times you are expecting a pass or this or that and it happens. Sometimes I think a bad tackle, somebody tackles it wrongly and then it becomes personal. I want to end my career, things like that. It happens to even the coolest of players, Kaká himself, others, it happens. But the problem now is, again, I'm going to talk like a doctor here now, physician, is the trend. When something happens once, it's okay, it's an accident. When it's character, when it's behavior. When it happens twice, okay, well, but once it becomes 3, 4 times, this thing you are saying I didn't start now. Go back and watch Ghana, Nigeria, the one that ended in 2022 World Cup, and go and see Osimhen's behavior in that match. After that day, that was why I also angrily left. So he has shown not to be a team player, apart from the goal. And mind you, Osimhen is Simple's second highest goal scorer in history. But with this his character, it's affecting his legacy. Do you know that Kanu Nwankwo only has about 12 goals for Super Eagles? Just for a striker. Very shameful outcome. But do you know that Kanu Nwankwo is more revered than even Yakubu Ayedini and others who have Ikechukwu Uche and others who have scored more goals than him? If I let me shock you, Kanu Nwankwo went to 4 or 5 Nations Cups,
without scoring a goal,
2 World Cups, 3 World Cups, without scoring a single goal. In fact, Kanu Nwankwo did not score a single goal at any competitive senior national team competition.
Yes, very correct.
But Dalawa has a goal. Victor Tuba has a goal. Jan Bangida has a goal for Nigeria against Denmark at 2008. Luis Nuruma has a goal. Now, line up all these people against Kanu Nwankwo's character. Which of them is regarded as a legend today? Kanu Nwankwo. Now, at those World Cup and Nations Cup, there were times Kanu Nwankwo because his language style of play. He wins penalties out of sympathy. Sometimes we will hear the story for a heart condition. He won several penalties, never took anyone. He could simply, there was one game at the 2002 Nations Cup where I think it was Kanu that won the penalty or something like that. And that penalty ended up being 1,000 goals in African Nations Cup history. Kanu could have taken that because after he don't score plenty and make I score one. He just stayed away. So we need to start building system players, not individual. Now, if you try to Osimhen is a local champion, put me in here. Do you know why? What he's doing now, he did not do it in Napoli or even Galatasaray. He was not in Napoli that their media, their social media handler made a caricature of it because he missed a penalty. Did Osimhen say he will not play for Napoli? Did Osimhen say he will leave the club? If you reach Nigeria now, you will get elections, they must obey the people like saying 9 papers. For what? So I think we need to understand. He has gone to Galatasaray. We need to try with the Cardi or with Leresani. Even physically very talk of other things. And so when people say, okay, this is a country, these are the things that Coach looks out for and say, no, they are my team. Now, let me even give you more information. Over this last season, about 4 or 5 clubs needed top 9. Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, even Real Madrid and 3 other top clubs. Are you really telling me that Arsenal really preferred Gyökeres over Osimhen? Or Man U really preferred Sesko over Osimhen? Or Chelsea preferred Delap or even Jackson over Osimhen? It gets to a point, and I've always said it every year, that talent alone is never enough.
It's never enough.
Talent alone. You must have talent, discipline, and hard work. Look at English players celebrate. For Scholes, David Beckham. They were not talented that much. David Beckham cannot dribble a stone. But because of his hard work and discipline, you will see, he got to, I think, the 3rd best player in the world at the time. Same thing with Scholes. Even Lampard na cock and shoot. Apart from his shots, nothing else. But discipline. So until we learn to inculcate that, even with our media. Now, how are you playing the media? Let me attack this now. Nigeria played the first 2 games, or first game, Osimhen had no goal, no assist. Osimhen, who played the second game against Tunisia, he had 1 goal. Lookman had 2 assists. What did the headline say? Osimhen leads Nigeria to victory against Tunisia. Professor West scored 1 goal. But that was so you want to forgive this bright factor. It not gets into his head. I don't even understand what I'm trying to say.
We totally understand you.
Like Komisoko said, he had that outburst with Philippe George. The federation, irrespective of whatever happened, he was not just insulting Philippe, insulting the coach, the federation, and the rest of the team. Irrespective of whatever happened, the condition is for you to apologize to the team. But the NFL did not do that. That is where the problem starts from, or emanates from. You have continued to tolerate such bad and deviant behavior, and it only gets worse. There is no born Cristiano Ronaldo well to treat the Portuguese coach like that. He will leave. Look at Lukman when he went on strike in Atalanta because they promised him to leave, and they didn't allow him to leave, and he went on strike. Even before coming back, he didn't apologize. Go and check all the things. He's ready to come home as a substitute. Before he came back, he must apologize. People think so nobody spoke about the Osimhen matter and it embodied him, not like he was saying on the tweet. The NFF president was running after him.
Okay.
They don't leave us at all.
Okay, Dr. Izu, if I allow you go vex past like this.
Let me have before. In 2002 World Cup, I don't even know a king was the captain of the Republic of Ireland, their most exposed player, their biggest player, and everything. Ireland sent him out of the World Cup because he criticized the training facility. So my forget about this place. Even Nigeria did it at 2002 World Cup, Nations Cup, 2004 Nations Cup, when they sent it to Agali, Yakuba Ebini and one other player. Go. So this kind of matter, the NFF will not even be begging him to stay. No one to really go. The judge as he has dropped his I had his job to start. As he dropped his off he goes. Whatever happens. Nigeria will survive with or without Osimhen. Nigeria goes before Osimhen, and then Osimhen goes after Osimhen. So to stop pampering such deviant because it's certainly a bad precedent. You can't say somebody else for Osimhen, and that's why it's been festers. Sorry for taking your time.
No. We always enjoy your. Like I said, you are one person that when we give you this topic, you find a way to use both knife, cutlass, everything to dissect it. And one thing that he must note, I would bring, and Dr. Izu, I'm sure you will know about this also. The last goal Rashidi Yekini scored for Nigeria in a competitive competition or tournament was the goal against Bulgaria in the 1994 World Cup. He played in the 94 Nations Cup. Also, I think Olise had most of the assists in that tournament, giving Rashidi Yekini at least 3 of his goals, giving Mamunike, I think, 1 of his goals thereabouts. But when somebody gifted him money from stories, and when Baba did not share the money with people now, feeling like I'm the top scorer, that was the last time anybody found him on the field to give him any ball to score. That was the last time. So I think Dr. Desiri Izu has laid it all out, said it all. When you accommodate some of this attitude for a long time, the people begin to think is normal and act the same way continuously until somebody gets to a point and tells them enough is enough. I watched that game against Mozambique. The people that I saw that gave it all out in that forward, Iwobi, Lukman, and Akko Adams. All my guy did was wait for ball, tap in, wait for ball, not even a contribution of some sorts. So I think he needs to get to a point where he needs to calm his head down and decide if he wants to play for this country or play for himself. I'm coming to you, Comrade Soko, because this one is another trouble again. It's another trouble, but I don't want us to dwell too much on it because it's becoming the familiar trouble. Even countries that have exited the tournament have gotten their bonuses. Your team played first game, second game, third game, fourth game, and we are just hearing that they have not been paid any of their match bonuses.
And yet you were busy chasing Osimhen.
And you are chasing Osimhen. Comrade Soko, where are you? Please, come and help us with this one.
Mr. Raphael.
Yes.
What I would want to say on this is that it is really sad that these players have played, as you stated, 4 games without receiving a penny. and this is not supposed to be the norm, because I can always say that, okay, you play a game. What stops you from giving these players their allowances as soon as they are done with that particular game? And someone has come out to say that it is because they know that they are not going to actually win Algeria. That's why they are asking for their bonus right now. And it was also what happened in the match against DRO Congo, which made us unable to qualify for the World Cup. So what I would want to say is that that's preposterous, because even if they understand that the game against Algeria is going to be tough, that should not stop you. There should be no justification for paying these people their allowances. But what I would want to draw the line here is that I don't want us to actually, because there's always this tendency to always politicize these issues. And I've seen a presidential aspirant or a former presidential aspirant coming to actually politicize this issue and actually trying to blame the government. The government has nothing to actually do with this, because the NFF run as an independent body. They get their funding from the government. They get their funding from the federation, the CAF as the body, FIFA as a body. They also it's within their own their right to actually source for these funds. And I can even attest to the fact that only the money that CAF must have given the Nigeria Football Federation is enough to pay these players their match bonuses. This has nothing to do with lack of funds. I think this has more to do with mismanagement. It has more to do with embezzlement. It has more to do with lack of transparency. All the time that we have accused the NFF of not paying these players their match bonuses, they have not for once come to say that it is because of the lack of money. So I am really puzzled at this point. So maybe I'm going to actually at this point give maybe Mr. Godwin the floor and Dr. Izu the floor to actually explain to us where the problem is actually from.
But
as regards Nigeria football.
You want to agree with me, Comrade Soko, that you have said that they shouldn't blame the government and what have you, but this topic cannot be in isolation.
Indeed.
Because either we like it or not, the money that would be paid, used to pay them, like we heard this morning, is being arranged by CBN. That's the Central Bank of Nigeria. And of course, we also know that the National Sports Commission is also involved in this. So there is no how you can treat it in isolation. And let's not also forget, even if they say the game against Algeria is difficult, that's why they're asking for their money. They played Tanzania. They played Tunisia. They played Uganda. They played Mozambique. At least give them the one that was easy. Now you are saying you got to think. I remember the last Afcon that we won in 2013, when Nigeria was pitched against Cote d'Ivoire in the quarterfinals. This same NFF body had already bought their tickets to come home. Mm-hmm. They've not even played the game. They've bought their ticket to come home, only for those guys to hear what had happened and told themselves, if we come out now, we lose, because they already give up on our matter. Mm-hmm. And they went all the way. So, but I don't know why we still keep discussing this issue. Before I come to you, Godwin, Dr. Izu, are you with us? I don't know if you're still with us. Please, I need you to weigh in on this. Why do we still keep having these issues? Because if you go to a tournament, you should have prepared yourself before anything kicks off so that you don't have any hiccup on the way. Dr. Izu?
So, again, I agree and disagree with Comrade Soko.
Indeed.
But to take you back to my last comment about the Seaman, when I was talking about him, it's an overrated player. I forgot to make that point. First of all, he removed his goals, be like Haaland. Once he removed his goals, there's almost nothing else they have to contribute apart from shouting everywhere and sweating 20 gallons of sweat. Overrated. Now that's by the way. Now to this issue now, which is said should not be discussed in isolation. It brings me to the point I made about Osimhen and Nigeria as a country. The lack of consequences is what leads to these issues. Now, Tunisia got eliminated. They haven't tried, they got to the second round and lost on penalties. It could be anybody's game. It's a lottery. They don't know where they reach out. As the player, they don't have a coach. So it's serious country. That's what happened. Are you telling me if this thing happens in the English national team, that somebody will tell me that the FA is independent, now the FA they receive money from FIFA Direct, now the FA they receive money from UEFA Direct? I don't want to hear that. It's an international and diplomatic disgrace. So I think, apart from even this football matter, it's a Nigerian societal issue. People will know when somebody says snake swallow jam money. You say, yes, that person. We're here when they said, which one again? Animals were swallowing things up and down. Each of them is in jail. So the system knows that give it 2 weeks, the smoke will die down. Nothing will happen. Nothing like that will be chance. So when they all know that, they'll just go offline, kind of everything. Just Nigeria is very easily distracted. The next one we give them and put something, we have all moved on. But like what Komitoko said, which I want to maybe let you know, the NFF is under the supervision of the National Sports Commission. Even though FIFA doesn't like government interfering and all that, it depends on what you call interference. For example, the House of Reps can summon the NFF to come and give account of funds. To come and explain why these things, the players have not been paid. If there is evidence of corruption, the federal government, through the relevant agencies, can prosecute the NFF or the officials. By the time 1, 2, 3, 4 NFF officials go to jail, then you don't need to tell the next person to pay. You just went back as far back as 2013 to give an example of how they booked the flight. There's the last Women World Cup that one room took us to. They already booked for only 3 days. That's the group stages. They were not expecting it to qualify from the group. But we won one and dropped 2 and qualified. So when your own federation does not believe it, the only time they make the federation ahead is when they are expecting you to lose. Okay, now you are saying the money is being prepared by CBN. I agree. Is this Nations Cup an emergency or is it just suddenly fixed? Is it that they didn't know that there will be a Nations Cup from December to January 2026? Is it that they didn't agree on certain bonuses and others? So why would you wait till your 5th match? The players are not going on strike. I know that the players are going to every day, so you didn't have time. This tournament is in the middle of December. And like you say, one of the ministers usually sing, agreement is agreement.
It's agreement.
So you've had that agreement. Yes, now the players have even tried to have played the good stages, played the 4th round without making noise. And like I said for senior, it is not an isolated event. It's almost every World Cup or Nations Cup or any major international tournament that this thing happens. So why would the NFF not go out of their way to say, okay, this time we don't want any embarrassment? Why is the Nigerian government under who is NFF? They are the Nigerian government. Many of them have official passport. Who give them the passport? No government. Are you saying the NFF can go wrong and not answer to the ministry? You have seen several times when, as the team, there is someone, the president, come back home and explain why even ambassadors, there is someone that come back and explain why this is happening. So the summary is because of lack of consequences. Everybody knows. The politicians know that they come and account for this one. Suddenly, you the person is sick, no medical report, they have to go abroad for treatment. But when I was fine, why was this money? No sickness. So they have to arrest them. This sickness must be set up. So there's a format for everything, including the football. Otherwise, if you make a Metoko or yourself as the minister of sport and you jail 1 or 2, I see my man that's already stole pension from $1 million. You know, my man was later returned to. I don't want to talk about that, but I'm just trying to emphasize the lack of consequences. There's what we call deterrent. When you do something, it becomes a deterrent to others. Show me which NFF official has gone to jail. Now, by qualifying for the tournament, people pay them money. By winning every match or even finishing the group stage, CAF gives them money. For qualifying for the what we call round of 16, they get a certain bonus. So why is this CBN that having to prepare those monies? Why can you not give them from that one that CAF has paid you when CBN brings you refund or you reimburse? Why do you need 5 matches and 1 month into the tournament? So, like I said, if you want to be serious as a country, go and look at China. Corruption there is a death penalty. Look at Indonesia and some other countries. carrying drugs is death penalty. They take it seriously. They don't joke with it. So if we decide to take our own serious and not politicize such issues, because when you want to not judge person and say, and when the certain person is teaching, you know, when you reach our brother, oh, no, one jail, people not start bringing religious or ethnic sentiment,
religious, ethnicity, family.
So, but if we decide as a country, you know what, if this thing happen to again, can the board of NFF, can they not vote out the chairman? Can the chairman, if he is innocent, can they not issue a query to the finance officer who is involved? So, because they are guilty, Jesus Christ, he is that saying should catch the first stone. Because they all know that if you open it small, then a lot of things will come out and not say off your mind, off your mind. That's why nobody wants to push in this thing. So it's embarrassing. Whether one appearance makes a political whatever.
Off your mic. Off your mic. Okay, Godwin, I know we've had a lot about this old Nigerian drama.
I just want to respond to Soko.
I know you want to quarrel.
I just want to respond to Soko called me out, so I wanted to respond to Soko. So if you would permit,
okay, in 1 minute.
Indeed, in one minute. I just want to tell Soko that he said we shouldn't treat this issue, or we should treat the issue in isolation, and he ended up calling a presidential candidate for calling out the Nigerian government. Thank God Dr. Izu have brought clarity to that. Who then should we hold responsible? If you are owing them, I beg you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you give them their money. Because if the victory and the glory comes to Nigeria from the Aso Rock presidential villa, they will be the first persons or the first set of people to brag about the glory that these people have brought to them. So there is nothing. Dr. Izu have clearly stated out, corruption have eaten deep into the fabric. In fact, every major competition in Nigeria have turned to a fat cow for the NFF to milk from. You get? So until these issues, like he clearly said, would be addressed, we will still be having a repetition of all of this. So I think I would end it here.
Okay. Thank you to the three of you for how you have looked at this, well, how will I call it, this situation that we are in at the moment. And I pray that we get to a day there where we would do away with all these problems and face footballing issues head on. In 60 seconds, because we're running out of time, I want us to be able to talk about some other things too. In 60 seconds, I'll be giving us a minute, in fact 30 seconds, to tell me, I'll start with you, Godwin Ojiri.
Okay.
The quarterfinals are set. Nigeria will be playing against Algeria. Cameroon will be playing against Morocco. Mali against Senegal. Egypt against Cote d'Ivoire. Who do you see stepping into the semi-finals?
All right, thank you so much. For Nigeria against Algeria, I will be giving the ticket to my country, Nigeria. Definitely.
Patriotism.
Yes, they are going down. They're even going beyond that. They are taking the cup.
Okay.
And we are waiting for them.
So there's Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. Then the other one you spoke of, Cameroon, I would give it
Morocco.
to Cameroon against Morocco, because I watched Cameroon last match. I saw passion in all of it. Then
Mali, Senegal.
Mali, Senegal. That match is really contentious. I would give it to Senegal. I'll give it to Senegal. And then the last one,
Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire.
Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire. I'll give it to Cote d'Ivoire.
So we have for Godwin, we have Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Comrade Soko.
Okay, so for Nigeria,
I'm writing this thing down so that by the time we meet next week, we will know who will who.
Okay, for Nigeria against Algeria, I think that's going to be a tough one, and probably that's why our players.
We know it will be tough. Who they go? We know it will be tough.
I'm going to be patriotic and actually give that to Nigeria.
Okay.
On the other matches, Cameroon against Morocco. Cameroon has actually impressed me.
Okay.
So, but I think that they will come to the end of their road. So maybe after extra time, I see Morocco actually winning that particular fixture.
Okay.
Mali against Senegal. I think I'm going to give it to Senegal. And the last one, Egypt against Ivory Coast. I think Ivory Coast will probably niche this one. Thank you.
Okay. I did write them down. No. I don't want to hear story next week. Dr. Izu, we want your semi-finalists.
Well, it's not going to be so different from the others. My major fear is actually for Algeria versus Nigeria, because Algeria is, I think apart from Nigeria, they're the one that scored the highest number of goals.
Yes.
And their goalkeeper, their first choice, Zidane has not considered any goal because the one they played against.
He has considered one, just one.
I said the keeper himself. I'm talking of Zidane himself.
Yes.
You know, he third game against Equatorial Guinea, he played their second choice, and so they rested.
Okay.
So their first choice squad has not considered the goal apart from that game against Equatorial Guinea where they are already comfortably qualified.
Yeah.
And with the way they are playing, these guys mean business. You understand my point? So that would very that's a challenge that we might have. But again,
okay, I think the network has done its magic. We're still going to take his own take on that. And if you check the quarterfinalists, you will see that we have 4 West African teams in Senegal, Mali, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire. We have 2 from the north, rather 3 from the north, Algeria, Morocco, and Egypt, and 1 from the central. Dr. Izu, are you back now?
Yes, it was a Komesoko that turned up. So I was saying that, can you hear me please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, so I said I've given Nigeria narrow, very narrow, may even get to extra time, but I think it's narrow, it's very hard for Egypt and Cote d'Ivoire, of course, Egypt have not been convincing. They practically struggled against almost everybody. Against Zimbabwe, they came from 1 goal down to narrowly win 2-1 late. Against South Africa, only 1 goal, that was a controversial penalty. They played Angola 0-0, just like that. Even in the round of 16, there has not been a time where they really asserted themselves. I think they went to extra time and had to rely on 2 late goals from Salah and the other guy to qualify for the quarterfinal. So they have not really been convincing, particularly with the stars that they have, Salah, Trezeguet, and Mahmoud. Mahmoud has really not lit up the tournament. So I'll go for Ivory Coast. For Cameroon and Morocco, Cameroon will be top, but don't forget Morocco as the host. So for that one, I go for Morocco as a hard spot, very hard, but also the tight. That game with Nigeria's game will be the tightest matches. And then Senegal, Mali. On paper, Senegal should win. But don't forget that Mali is the Bonoesti of the
They draw up and down.
So they don't want to win. They just don't want to lose. If we are going for the money score 1 goal, but their main aim is not to concede. So they need to sit down there and defend for 2 hours. And knowing how difficult Morocco played against Tanzania, even when they narrowly won, and even the referee had to help them by not doing that last minute penalty, it might be tough. But I think Senegal has so much quality in what they did so far to overcome. So I'm taking Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, and
Thank you. It has been clocked in.
I needed to clock your own.
It has been clocked in.
Rafael, put your own day.
We'll discuss it. Now, I think we'll be closing with this one, if time still permits. I hope everybody is on set. This is our town hall meeting. We are going to discuss this, and I'm putting it out there. Chelsea, Maresca gone. Manchester United, Amorim gone. Who is next? Who is next? A lot of people are saying Thomas Frank of Tottenham Hotspur. But that is not even the question I'm asking right now. For Chelsea, they have already replaced Maresca with the coach from Strasbourg. I can't really get his name right now. For Manchester United, Darren Fletcher is standing in for whoever it is that is coming in. Liam Rosenau. Yeah. So that's the new coach for Chelsea, for those who don't know. While for Manchester United, the interim coach at the moment is Darren Fletcher. The question is this: are the managers the problem, or the club hierarchy, or the players? Is it the manager, the hierarchy, all the players. Is Comrade Soko still with us, please? Okay, so this one comes to you, Comrade Soko. Is the problem, because now Chelsea don't sack, Manchester United let their own off too, and it's looking like Tottenham too. It's looking like it's going to happen there next. And also maybe Liverpool. Do you understand me? The question now is this. Looking at all these clubs, and one thing I have again against Manchester United again is their legends. They know a lot, but none of them will come and coach the club. Any coach that comes, they know what the coach should do. But when that coach leave, you don't see them putting in their CV to say, I want to be there. Is the problem the coach? Because Amorim came the last time, I said he's not a coach, he's a manager. And I think they have a problem with that. Is the problem the coach, the hierarchy, or the players? Comrade Soko.
Okay, thank you very, very much. I think if you look at the sacking of both Amorim and Enzo Maresca, I think there's a parallel to it, because both managers were sacked immediately. They criticized the management of their respective clubs. But I cannot agree with you. Okay, you did not take a position, so there's nothing to oppose. What I would want to say is that in order to blame the manager, the coach, or the players, I think both Chelsea and Manchester United, they are not the same in this case. Because in the case of Chelsea, I don't think that the coaches can actually put so much blame on the management, because Chelsea as a football club have spent almost 1.2 billion in transfer fees within the next I think the last 3 years. So when you see a management willing to spend such amount of money, I don't think that it is enough for you to actually go there and say that you are not being given enough. Because except you are saying that some of these players are coming in and are not being sanctioned, these buys are not being sanctioned by you. And this has not actually been the case, because as far as I am concerned, I think that Enzo Maresca has not come out to say that he has not sanctioned some of these buys. On the case of Manchester United, it is a bit more complicated. As a football manager, I don't think that I would want to come to that thing, because within the last, I think 6-7 years or so, they have had almost all the football managers in the world, to Mourinho, to
David Moyes,
Solskjaer, to they are also saying that Solskjaer is coming back, to Moyes and all that. Even legends have come out to criticize the structure of Manchester United. We also saw Ronaldo came out and said that there is a serious problem at the managerial structural level of Manchester United. So at this point in time, I think Manchester United have more issues, have more problems than Chelsea, because if you look at the ease in which Chelsea was able to even appoint a coach, that shows that at least there's something going right for them. I believe that Enzo also played into the hands of the team, because some of the decisions he has taken in recent games, the changes and all that, has really come out to be really, really bizarre. So Chelsea as a club has not been one that has much patience when it comes to managers and sacking managers. So I would want to say that Chelsea has more stability than Manchester United. Right now, I don't know where Manchester United is going to go from here. Thank you very much, Mr. Raphael.
Thank you very much, Comrade Soko. I'll come to you, Dr. Izu. Your last words and your prediction for tonight's game, Arsenal against Liverpool.
So on this issue of the manager, Comrade Soko has said a lot, which I agree with. First of all, to your first question about who is next. You see that West Ham coach, if he has not already fasting by now, to be fasting, see possibly even doing all night on top, because his life now is battle like only one part. You know, that's no experiential status. And it's only bad because he might be the first coach in his Premier League to be sacked twice in the same season. He was sacked for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
So he left the Forest and came to the West Ham. Now they're also not doing well from relegation. They even took the lead against Nottingham Forest 1-0 on Friday, 2 days ago. And then unfortunately they couldn't defend the lead from 1-0 to 1-1, and then they lost 2-1 Even Wolves, the coach might, when even the new coach, so if he continues like this, they might feed him to the Wolves. So, but for those who might go next, I'm seriously looking at West Ham and then Tottenham, like you said, because that guy is also not looking, things are not looking good for him. They lost again yesterday 3-2 to Bournemouth. Let's go from the incoming Man City boy, the Ghanaian Semenyo. Now, to the issue of the sacking of Man U and Chelsea coach. Chelsea coach, right from day one, that coach is not a Chelsea standard coach. Don't forget that he just had one very good season with Leicester in the Championship. Now they carry Chelsea down. It's like somebody who was driving a Toyota Camry and then somehow giving a jet. So, and then giving so many players. It's also, see, sometimes it's like when a man wants to marry a wife and you have 5 women, it's confusing. So, not everybody can manage that situation correctly. So, we had a large squad that again was unbalanced. At the time, Chelsea had more goalkeepers than strikers. They had like 6 goalkeepers. I think I mentioned on this show before. And so, right from that time, I knew that marriage will not last. They even tried to allow him last season after he finished fourth or so. At the time, he was going for the league. Somehow, the man just came and said, no, we're not going for the league. And if you look at the team from after that statement, the team, they just got demoralized. So I think I agree with Chelsea for sacking him, and he played into their hands. There are reports that say that Man City approached him to possibly replace what is called Guardiola at the end of the season. And then the coach and his agents approached the Chelsea board to try to negotiate a contract. Well, actually, has like 5-6 years left on the current contract. So we were trying to increase the board. It was making some funny changes. You are winning 1-0 or you are drawing 1-1. You need to go. You take your striker out and bring defender. So it was very clear that just like Osimhen, they are down to no one do it, but you don't play. So that's why I agree with Chelsea. For Man U, I think they are not fair to the coach because they shouldn't have. I still say that Man U should not have sacked him hard when they sacked him. Because the team was just 7th, just a few points away from the European spot, and the season was just starting. They just about 1/3 of the season, and they sacked him. And they went to bring somebody from Portuguese league. With no respect to all those other smaller leagues, it's not easy to leave those leagues and come and do things. Go and check the trajectory now of those clubs that the people that just come from that championship or all these funny Portuguese, German, or even French league. It doesn't always go like that. Even look at the striker that Bucharest was banking goals in Portugal. What is he playing in Arsenal now? It's even God that is helping them, man. He has not got the goal. So they shouldn't have sacked him when they sacked him because it was early in the season. There was still enough time to recover and do other stuff. Then he brought in a coach midway. He's a young coach has not done so many years of coaching. So in Portuguese league, he's not really challenged. In Portugal, it's just Porto, Sporting Lisbon, Braga, and Benfica. The rest are just they just to make the team the league there were plenty. So he brought him in, and then this man is a rigid coach that even one of Man U's board members, I think their sporting director, practically resigned because he voted against it and said, this guy is an obstinate coach. He's 3-4-3. He's not mature for this. He said no, and they got one. You can see him playing Ahmad and Mbomu. Ahmad now is playing as a right wing back. So the team again was not balanced. He was not willing to adjust or try to adjust to his environment. Even after Afcon started and his best players on the right wing, Mazraoui, Ahmad, and Mbomu all went to the Nations Cup. He would expect to play forward at the back. He tried it in one game and reverted to his three-man defense and all that. So they are playing the relegation club. They are playing 5 at the back. That means I'm not ready now. So I agree that the results are not going on, but I feel they should have given him the benefit of the doubt and allow him to after the Nations Cup where he will have his best players, that's Ahmad and Mazraoui and Mbomu back, and then judge him based on those performances. Again, injuries did not help him. His first choice strikers, he didn't get them. Sesko was not his first choice striker. Sesko was like third choice. So, but when Arsenal stole Bucharest from them, others took the other, so he was left with Bucharest than to get Sesko. And Sesko, you can see, he's small boy of 21, 22. Not the kind of person you want to put that thing on. So I think that's also teach us lessons when we are recruiting. We should not just recruit based on sentiment or based on something. And for the Man U legends that you talked about, don't forget that Mourinho said his greatest achievement was giving that Man U squad to finish second. And every year, that Mourinho statement is being validated. They brought back Cristiano Ronaldo and He confirmed the equipment. But it was only saying Old Trafford was leaking physically, like really before inside the stadium. So this was bad. And the shouldn't have sacked Solskjaer because he wasn't doing badly. They were in a rush. So I think we should forget in our own personal life this issue of peer pressure. It's easy to talk in studio. Let Gary Neville go and coach now. Was Gary Neville not coach of Valencia? How is it on now? It's when he came out and it was like cost code 108. Play win one out of I didn't win at all. I've been 017 points. So I think it's easy to criticize. It's not easy to perform. So I wish Man U well because if Man U does well, it helps the league. All these ones that actually will qualify for Europe Champions League, you know they will not go out of the first round or maybe round of 16. It affects the English league rating. It affects the slot. But when the real big clubs are going, you know, it helps now their UEFA ranking coefficient. For these big clubs to perform well.
We'll take your prediction.
For the FA Cup,
we'll take your prediction. Arsenal Liverpool.
Yes. For Arsenal Liverpool, Arsenal will be motivated because they are home. And as God will have it, their next two rivals, Aston Villa and Man City, have dropped points somehow yesterday. Even Man City now have collected the virus from Mali. They joined their last 3 games. So that should motivate Arsenal because if they win now, they will go
8 points.
I think that will be 8 points.
Yeah.
8 points clear. And that will put them in a good position. Don't forget that Liverpool are also affected by the Nations Cup, Satellite Nations Cup. They also have a lot of injury crisis. Isak is injured. We are told that Ekitike is also not likely to play. So that gives them a lot of headache in their attacking segment. So I unfortunately and painfully, I expect Arsenal to win. If they don't win, it will be, my best.
We are sorry. We are sorry. We are sorry. Thank you, Dr. Izu, and thank you, Comrade Soko, for being a big part of today's show and making it what it is. Godwin, before we disappear from the studio, what's your own take? Arsenal, Liverpool.
All right. For me, I would say the match will end in a 2-1.
You're giving them go?
Yes, indeed, for Arsenal. Reasons is because I watched the last match of Liverpool against, was it Fulham?
Leeds United.
Yes, that they played. And it was really a close contact between these two teams and a near miss. On the front of goal, no deliverables. And when you now compare them with the ranking of Arsenal now, I want to truly believe, just like Dr. Izo have said, that Arsenal would deliver.
Okay, viewers, that is the size of our show today. We hope you enjoyed every part of it. And we know that a lot of these issues, you are also maybe finding a way or two to try and reach out to us. But please, anytime you have the opportunity, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We want to thank Comrade Soko for joining us all the way from Delta State, putting some light and life into some of these topics. Also thanking Dr. Desiree Izu, who never holds back with his cutlass, hammer, and everything, hitting from all angles. Also, not to forget my co-anchor here, I nearly called you Doctor. Dr. Godwin.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I'm here. My name is Raphael Ojao. Come on, till we meet again, same time, same station next week. Please do not forget that talent is not all that makes it. It is character. It is one thing to get there, it's another thing to stay there. Stay blessed, and until we see you again, ciao.